Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Racers Driving League Season 14, round number 15 of the Championship, the Dutch Grand Prix here at the Zandvoort circuit. Looking forward to what should be a very interesting affair this evening. The Dutch Grand Prix always stirring up chaos, has done in these first few seasons of competition here in the RDL. We're looking forward to what should be a great race with a slightly minimised grid tonight. Only 15 cars in the running, unless we get prologue later on in the session, which we're hoping that we will. We're getting the first few cars now out the pit lane, getting ready for their first flying runs here, of course. The Zandvoort circuit very fast, a real challenge to some of these drivers. We'll see just what they can do with the opportunity they've been given tonight. With, of course, less drivers on the grid, more chance for points. In terms of last time out, it was a very insane affair in Belgium. Of course, a brilliant race that ended in the first victory of the season for Mr. TJ, who is on the grid tonight trying to go back to back if he can. He's thrilled to win his first Grand Prix of the season last week. He'll try to repeat that. One particular stat that's pointed out to us is our championship leader, Salve Grimio, who leads by 19 points over Chalova. Mercedes a 0 score last week. So Grimio has taken an unbeatable number of pole positions, so no one will claim more poles than he has this season. He's got a total of 12 pole positions compared to Chalova's 2. He's taken all but 2 of the pole positions this season. But he's only taken 4 race victories, so he's failed to convert 2/3 of those pole positions into wins. So we'll have to see just what we can do to try and turn that around tonight. And in terms of point scorers last time out, Huggy Bear, who is not on the grid tonight, scored the final point last week, taking P10. It's well deserved. Driver of the day performance from him there. So when he next returns, I look forward to seeing just what he can do on the racetrack as well. In terms of this week's Grand Prix, oh, there goes Grimio spinning around. Grimio spins it, and the McLaren of this McLaren of BJ, the home favourite, just about avoiding it. The only Dutch driver in the field. So follow him here for this timed lap of the circuit. So down the main straight he comes, getting ready for that first flying lap of Zandvoort. Here comes the home hero towards the first corner, and braking at the 50-metre board there on the right, keeping off the curbs through turn 1. Good exit. On the left curbs a little bit there, going into this next very fast right-hander into immediate left, that bank turn. Never quite know the line to run through here. It's a very technical end to the first sector. He comes towards that first split, and he's looking at a 24.9 dead through that long sweeping right-hander. Be very careful not to run the curbs or run wide here if you can, as no one sets the fastest time. And PJ quickly establishes himself at the top of the timing screens, 1 minute 11.1 to kick off qualifying here. Keeping an eye on PJ as he makes his way out the left-hander and down that next DRS straight. And here comes that second split. It's 49.736. Oh, perhaps a bit too deep going to the right-hander there. That definitely affected his exit and his entry into the next turn. But he comes to the last couple of corners now. A bit wide as well, that last right-hander, but onto the banked corner. A lot of overtakes happening here tonight. DRS redeployed, as here he comes. PJ charging towards the line, trying to take away pole position if he can, and he just misses out. 1 minute 11.4, but only on the medium tyres, as Chalova goes fastest there by 0.4 of a second on the softs for Mercedes. Of course, his teammate Touchy Pope back this week. Pope 49.1 in his first sector. We'll keep our eye on Grimio as well. Back into the pit lane here. So Grimio at the end of his first run, unsuccessful so far. Here comes Pope down this main straight here. He might try and beat his teammate. He will beat his teammate by just over 0.2 here. So Silver Arrows looking at the front row then. There's JB, the lone AlphaTauri in the field tonight. Of course, AlphaTauri still sitting down in dead last in the constructors, unfortunately, and with no Prolol around tonight. Of course, Prolol was meant to return from his one race ban that he acquired in Hungary a couple of races ago, which he served in Belgium, and is now returning, or would have been returning, to Zandvoort here to go back behind the wheel of the AlphaTauri, but unable to make it, unfortunately. So JB, the lone AlphaTauri in the field, 48 points the pair have scored between them this season, 16 points behind Alfa Romeo in 9th. Of course, Alfa Romeo have also just the one car in the field, that's PJ Khaled. That's both from Chalova into the pit lane now. 10 cars have set laps at this first run. Here comes Snap Hunter reserving for C110P fan tonight. Of course, McLaren still running in second place in the Constructors' Championship. If my memory is correct, Snipe Hunter's points won't count as he's a reserve. McLaren still holding on to second in the Constructors, but today is a big opportunity for Mercedes cars to try and close some points. Aston Martin 48 points in the clear. Their lead is quite unassailable at this stage. It'd take, well, I don't want to be insulting it, but it takes some kind of a miracle for McLaren or Mercedes to catch them at this stage. 50 points is a lot to make up when you've got a pair as good as the Aston Martin team have been. Of course, that pairing of Grumio and Lando won the Constructors' Championship last season with Alpine. And we knew from the start it'd be a force to be reckoned with, but of course, BJ and Fam in the AlphaTauri last season gave them a good run, trying to bring the Constructors back to AlphaTauri after they won it in Season 12. But it was Landlord and Dan in that lineup that year. Now comes Snipe Hunt here off the last corner, and charging towards the line. It's looking like a decent time for him here. It looks like it's enough for P4, so it's just in front of his Dutch team by just over, literally a tenth on the chart. So not too bad at all then from the reserve. There's TJ, last week's race winner. If he can, we'll be trying to go back to back with victories this time out. Makes his way down into the pit lane. Here comes Daniel Allen off the last corner, reserving in the Williams tonight. The only Williams car in the field. No sign of Alvar or Wally this week, unfortunately. Enough for P10 at the moment. So 4 cars yet to set lap times here. Here comes Grumio through the second sector. 1 Aston Martin in the field. So we're looking to try and score big points in order to keep Aston Martin's lead in the Constructors. And towards that second sector split to 49.072. That's a very good split. Much quicker this time around. And BJ on the soft tyres as well. He's just started his next time lap. And I assume that we start Hunter in front. I assume we're pitting this time. And he comes, giving Grumio full range charge down that main straight. And take away provisional pole from Pope. 1 minute 10.374. Not too bad at all. 2 tenths clear. Here comes Chalov looking to try and change that on his next timed run. 10 minutes to go in this session. So it's still a long way to go. BJ 3 tenths up. He needs to gain more time. As of right now, it's only enough to take P4. It needs to be a good second and third sector here. He's half second up now. So that could be enough for third place. He'd need a bit more of these last couple of corners. The straight line speed should be enough for him here. Oh, there he goes! And BJ losing his end plate there and losing what could have been a very, very valuable qualifying lap. And down into the pit lane to get that repaired. I doubt he'll be too happy with himself in the car there. Very, very unfortunate for a lap that was so promising in the first and second sectors. But the McLaren team, they'll bring him back in. They'll make the change to the front wing, put him on a new set of soft tyres, and they'll try and go again. You better hope he has time to go again. He's currently running 8th on the scoring sheets. No one has lost his front wing completely there. Yellow flags out in sector 2. Unsure as to what happened. He may have just gone straight. Gone straight on into the gravel, perhaps. He's up on his teammate Lycon by just 0.06 of a second here. The Haas team currently 7 points off of Alpine as it stands. Both Alpines in the field tonight. That race victory would definitely help them out. Here comes TJ at the last corner and towards the line to start his next lap. So Grumio still on top as it stands. Chalova, not a good first sector for him. He may have backed off. Went at 10.441 his best effort. I dare say he'll be looking to go again to try and beat Grumio, of course. Grumio said himself in recent weeks, especially on the start, he's definitely not strong, and that's where he may have lost out last week, if I remember correctly. Chalova into the pits then, the end of the second run. And Pope looking to have another go trying to crack the front row once again. Yellow flag, that's one of the McLarens going slow. That'll be Sniper Hunter letting some cars go through. He's about to start his next timed run. 7.5 minutes still to play. Warms to his tyres. One final time. So it looks to build up speed in the exit of this right-hander in order to build it up for the start of his qualifying lap. DRS deployed. Gear 8 over the line, over 180 miles an hour. This goes into start what could be another good run. Of course, if he improved for about 3 or 4 tenths, that'd be enough for the second row. Mr. TJ now running in P4, 1 minute 10.9 his best efforts. That moves a couple of cars down. BJ now down to 9th. He's starting another lap himself. So the McLaren's running the mid-pack as it stands, but have the potential to try and put themselves up there as high as they can with the front runners. Comes Pope here through the second sector. 49.047. Improves by 600. So you need a big boost out of this last sector. I'd be looking about 2 tenths or so in order for him to be able to claim pole position back. Here he comes now through this last corner. DRS deployed, but he's all the way down on the right hand side of the racetrack and towards the line. Is it enough? No, it's not. It's enough for second, but not quite enough for pole. As Grumio spun it at the exit of turn 1. Let's move out the way to make sure Pope doesn't hit him. We'll keep our eye on those two McLarens now. Comes Sniper Hunter, who's 4 tenths up through his second sector. Now the last one coming towards the line, because he had a very good qualifying last week towards the end. And he's taken P4 here. And BJ coming through his last sector now, these last 2 corners on the circuit. This time he keeps it clean, neat and tidy out that last corner. And towards the line, looking at P4 himself. So he's managed to beat his teammate just about. Pope, I think he's looking to pit this tyre, go one more set of soft tyres towards the end of the session. Just one car yet set a lap time. Oh, yellow flag now. That's JB who spun it. And Courtney Goblin with no front wing on the car. And for one of the few times we see him out the pit lane, this is an unfortunate sight for the Ferrari driver. Of course, both Ferraris in the field tonight have done an exceptional job so far this season. As Websy has scored the majority of the points. Courtney Goblin has scored a total of 19 this season. So he's been making good use. He's managed to turn those qualifying performances, or lack of rather, into some quite impressive finishes. As JB makes his way into the pit lane, dare say the Ferrari will join him to reach the final 5 minutes of the session. There goes the pit lane then. Grumio back into his garage. Pope is also in. Comes BJ into the pit lane. The majority of cars on the way in. McLaren's P4 and P5 right now. Websy, Ethan, and Dan, the only 3 cars out on the racetrack right now. None of them improving on their previous times as of right now. Of course, Dan is out lap. Here comes Lycon out the pit lane. And we don't foresee the pit lane get very, very busy. Looks like no one's getting ready to come back out. Oh, I see one of the Alpha Tower. I see JB, one of the Mercedes cars, and that'll be Websy coming in. Here comes JB out the pit exit. Ethan, 6 tenths down this way towards the line. Has he got enough time to go into the pits and come back out again? On a fresh set of softs. And he's going to try and take that risk as he comes into the pits. Both Haas cars now at the racetrack. Dan running P12 right now, 1 minute 11.5. Just 2 cars a set lap slower. Pope on his out lap here. Here comes Grumio out of his pit box. Wait on Ancelotti now. So I think he's going to try and leave it as late as he can in order to avoid Grumio stopping him again should he reclaim pole position. He's got some work to do. About a tenth or so down. Pope even closer than that. As the season 11 champion then warms up his tyres to get ready to go again. Both Haas cars now on their time lapse. Lycon 24.8 in the first sector. Jay Oliver now on the racetrack on his outlap. Dan backing off, allowing some of the qualifying cars through before he sets back on his way again. Pope on his lap here, looking at that first sector. And the split comes to... Oh, he's just under a tenth up. As of right now, there'll be enough to snatch pole. But I have to look at the times here. It's not that close at all. Less than half a tenth separating the two cars in the front row. And it's only about a tenth and a half. So 100th and a half of a second. Back to Jay Oliver. It's BJ's 3 tenths back. Everyone, a large train here going for these last couple of laps. Anyone in the pits that have to leave now? I dare say Ethan and Lycon are both done, as is someone no one is back in the pit lane after invalidating. Here comes Pope. Towards the line. And Pope claims pole position by a quarter of a tenth then. And here comes Jay Oliver behind him. Now, does Pope back up and try and give his teammate a tow? Try and push him onto that front row if he can. Gremio. Oh, Gremio is almost 2 tenths up on his previous effort, and that could be tough to beat. We'll see how Jay Oliver does in his first split. Oliver improves by a tenth. Wouldn't be enough at this stage. We'll see if Gremio can improve at this last corner as Courtney Goblin retires at the session, as Gremio goes fastest by almost a tenth here. All of a sudden, Oliver needs another tenth or so in order to get himself on pole. BJ improving by about a quarter of a third. Gremio retiring from the session here. Courtney Goblin also out. He's crashed the car. Checkered flag has fallen. Pope slowing up. Jay Oliver needs a couple hundredths more of a second in order to try and claim pole. If he takes it now, he knows Gremio can't beat him. Here he comes towards the line. Will it be enough? It will! Jay Oliver claims pole position here. Snipe Hunter 5th place. BJ 4th. Mr. TJ up to 4th himself now. He puts himself in that second row. Here comes Websy. Oh, who's 200th of a second up. These last couple of cars. Curtis Shepard over the line. He'll start 14th for the race. JB into the pit lane. He'll start in 10th. Here comes PJ Khaled, who will not improve. Websy might just improve, but is it enough to change position? I don't think it is. It's not. So that settles it then. Jay Oliver on pole position for the Dutch Grand Prix, looking for his 6th win of the season, and going to try and close that 19-point deficit. So Jay Oliver and Gremio will lead the race to turn 1. Followed by Pope and TJ on row 2, BJ and Snipe Hunter, the 2 McLarens on row 3, Websy in 7th, PJ Khaled in 8th, Ethan in 9th, and JB will round out your top 10. So that is qualifying. We're back with you in a few minutes' time for the start of the race. So here we go then, get ready for the start of the Dutch Grand Prix. Round number 15 in Season 14 of the Racers Driving League. It should be a very entertaining affair indeed. Of course, did miss qualifying. Welcome to the stream. I look forward to having you here for the race itself. Into the final 10 seconds before the race gets underway. So looking forward to it. Make sure to subscribe for all future RDL action. It's the Dutch Grand Prix next.
Here we go then, the formation lap gets underway and the excitement here is building as we near ever closer to the start of the race. Which team will come out on top? Who's got their strategies right for today's race? Well, we'll soon find out.
In terms of starting tyres then, majority of cars on mediums and hard. Daniel Aaron took the risk starting on the soft tyres. We'll see how far those get him into the first stint over the course of the race itself.
As the cars make their way back to the starting grid to form up and get ready for lights out, let's hope the race ahead today is a thrilling one that will go down as a memorable Grand Prix in the history books.
So here comes Shale then starting on pole position, looking to add to his 5 wins already in this campaign. Grimio, of course, has the most pole positions. It's now 12-3 in terms of comparison between the two championship leaders. Of course, he's only converted 4 of those into victories as the last few cars join up on the back of the grid. We'll see just how well he does at turn 1. The last 2 of the 15 cars joining us at the back. The Dutch fans on their feet as we go to 5 red lights for the Dutch Grand Prix, round number 15 of the championship. Chailover and Salve Grimio on the front row, and Chailover's got a drive through for a jump start. And that could be crucial. He's got a huge lead now. Well, that could be till the end of his race already. Behind them, though, Grimio leads them over Pope. They're side by side going to that first corner. Pope runs wide, though. That's going to allow BJ in on the inside. Pope battling, trying to take back third place if he can. There's contact between Pope and BJ. Pope on the inside will hold on to third place there. A bit of contact for the back, and there goes Sniper Hunter around. And that's a huge crash there at the back of the pack. No one's really taken a huge amount of damage. Sniper Hunter was unfortunately caught up in that. And he falls to the back of the field. I think Websy is caught. Websy's been completely stuck on the curb. And I dare say he has to find someone to get that moving on to be out of the race very quickly here. But a jump start for Che Oliver. And that could spell the end of his Grand Prix very early on. Websy disqualified for being parked in a dangerous location. And I'm not sure if anything will be questioned there. But unfortunate for Websy regardless. And I doubt he'd be too happy with that. Chailover though, drive-through penalty for a jump start. And I dare say he'll want to serve that as quickly as he can and then get back out on the racetrack again. So I dare say we'll see him come in this time. No, he's staying out. He may try and build a lead as quickly as he can as Pistol at number 2 of this Grand Prix. Here comes Pope trying to make a move on Grimio. Looks to the outside going towards turn number 1. Who's been last on the stoppers? That's very close to him and very tight for that first corner. Pope gets the traction on the exit. He might need to take away P2, and he will take from the championship leader here. There goes Pope, moving up into second place. BJ back there gunning for 4th. The Dutch crowd looking to see him do well here today. TJ running in 5th. PJ in 6th. Yellow flag again at the same corner. I'm not quite sure what's happened. Oh, that's BJ. That's JB who's gone around. JB now falls to the back of the pack. And he may have spun by himself being caught up on the curbs there. Not entirely sure. We didn't see it. But he carries on here, now down in P14. In terms of gains, the driver who's made the biggest gain so far is Curtis, starting in P14. He's now up to 9th place, just inside the points. Lycon's gained 4. As has Cotley Godwin, who started dead last. And Dan has gained 3. And Sniper Hunter's lost out on most of that instantly opening lap. He's down 7 places. Chailover now, 1.5 seconds in the clear. Of course, we'll have to pit, so lose a lot of time. We'll have to see just what goes on, whether he'll come in this time. They only have a few more laps left to serve it. So do we see him come in this time? Yes, we do. Here he comes. And that'll be all that Touchy Pope needs to allow him to take the lead away in this race. He set the fastest lap for good measure as well. And BJ might try and look at Grimio if he gets close enough. No chance. The McLaren driver had to wait a little bit longer. DRS enabled for the first time in this Grand Prix, so any car within a second of the car in front when in that DRS zone will be allowed to open up the rear wing and get a bit more extra speed down those DRS straights. And I dare say BJ will need it to get past the Aston Martin as best he can here. And he'll be looking to try and close in on that silver arrow. He still continues chasing one. Oliver back out on the rest track already and down in P12, so it's not over for him completely yet. I think there will be a lot of work to do for him in this race. Pope leads then Grimio half second back. BJ looking to try and take him on as much as he can. The top three in a bit of a train here is TJ at 1.1 seconds off the pace. He's really been improving in recent weeks, culminating in that victory in Belgium. And I dare say maybe in position to try and challenge the front runners here should he get close enough. Pope getting away here, about 7/10 in front. BJ running in, still running there in the third spot, the last place on the rostrum. And so about half a second back from our championship leaders. They come through the right-hander. Nice and smooth here. DRS about to go redeployed once again down this main straight. And I dare say Grimio will close by a decent amount to Pope as they come towards turn number 1 into that first corner. Pope stays in front, but not by much here. Just 3/10 separating the two leaders. And it's another 3 back to the McLaren. 1.1 to TJ there in 4th place. And there are your tyres. Dan's made those soft tyres work. He's avoided the chaos as someone, no one, and Connie Godden battle for the last points paying place. And they've got Chairlover right behind them. Let's try and get through him quickly in order to not lose too much time. What does he have plans to get around these two cars? He can't try anything too erratic just yet. It's very early on in this Grand Prix, and there's plenty of time if he gets a safety car. That'll put him right back up in the picture. But that jump start, a costly error. They come very close to contact there. Che gets inside of Courtney Goblin, who gives him the room. The Mercedes car goes sliding up into P11 and looks to try and take P10 if he can off of someone, no one in the Haas. Goes into his second RDL start. DRS deployed now for the Mercedes. Will be closing in. They may try and set themselves up for a move on the main straight. And speaking of moves on the main straight, could we see any between the 4 leaders? TJ now well within that 1 second gap, but not close enough to actually go for anything on BJ just yet. 5 laps into this thing. Everyone quite spaced out so far here. Here comes Chairlover looking for P10 off someone no one as they come towards that first corner into the braking zone. And there goes the Mercedes up the inside, still in front on the exit. If he can pull away, he'll get it. And there he goes, Chairlover up into P10 here. So this race, I dare say, is not over for him just yet. It's quite a way back. He's 13 seconds behind the race leader, his teammate Tatsui Pope, who will keep Grimio behind him for as long as he can to help his teammate and to try and keep the lead, obviously. But Pope showing the way then. He's done a brilliant job so far in his first few laps. Of course, Grimio on the hard tyres is choosing to go further into that first stint, so Pope in some ways still expects to be faster. No real progress for anyone here in the top 3 in terms of chasing the car in front. Yellow flag, and that is Curtis has gone around. Curtis in the Alpine, no damage done to him, so he'll keep on going, but down to P14 now as JB gets around him just at the last second. That'll push Chairlover up another place here. He's up to P9, but it's 5 seconds to Daniel Aarons, who's on those soft tyres. So we'll see just how quickly he can close up to him. Grimio still chasing her, and number 6 to 36 to make up this race. So TJ falling away a little bit now. The gap back up to 1.3 seconds to him and BJ. I dare say BJ perhaps falling away a bit from the 2 leaders as well. You won't try anything too crazy. He wants to try and keep that gap as long as he keeps running his line and keeps running to that same pace as those 2 in front of him. I dare say he'll be fine. As PJ Callan goes wide there, runs the car into the grass. And Dan's close enough to have DRS, so he's right back with it. And now as someone's chased down, yellow flag, and that is Curtis is around again. Recovers the car, gets himself going again. Pope leads by about 7.5 tenths here. Back to Grimio, who's no doubt being a bit frustrated so far. Not having much to gain. Of course, taking the place of Chairlover, who he will gain points on if things stay how they are. Of course, he's already 19 in the clear coming into this race. Chairlover's gained about almost 2 seconds there within 1 lap. Closing in massively on Daniel Aaron, who will now have the added hope, of the DRS coming off of PJ Khaled. He's got his work cut out from chasing Haas of Lycon for 6th. Lycon's going 6th places here. He started in P12. Ethan 5 seconds back from Mr. TJ, who's about 2 seconds off the pace of the 3 leaders now. And they're really getting away here, doing an excellent job. But yet, see any real battles going on for the lead. Grumio definitely getting closer and closer to Pope. And down this main straight, Mario's trying something here. He's got a very good run on the exit. Both cars using battery, but Grumio has the added help with the DRS. Goes all the way to the right hand side of the track. Pope gives him the space. He's still down the outside, clinging on to that position. And gets the better exit there side by side through these first couple of corners. Bit of contact there. I saw Pope throw the hand up in frustration. Let's make the way through the left-hander, and Pope stays in the lead. Fantastic stuff between these two champions, who are really going at it. Oh, and there goes Pope up top, and there goes Grumio around. Contact between the two leaders, and there goes Pope off in the gravel. And that was Mr. TJ, who's just gone off the track massively there, and TJ out of the race. Grumio, 5-second penalty for a severe collision. The two leaders now down the order. All of a sudden, BJ, to the delight of the home fans, takes the lead by 7.4 seconds and no safety car. Which means he'll be able to hold on to that lead for as long as he can. Ethan now second, Lycon now third. And Che Oliver starting to catch back of that pack as well. So we could have some really good racing on our hands right now. Oh, and there goes PJ Khaled, who's gone around here at the exit of the left-hander. PJ really struggling to recover that car there. Gets the Alfa Romeo back under control, but down to P12 now. 2 cars out of the race as Daniel Aaron comes into the pit lane. And now nothing separating the two championship leaders from each other on the racetrack apart from 7 tenths. And a penalty for Grumio is what cost him last week, and it could cost him again here. But BJ has been given an absolute dream situation here. And he now leads by almost 8 seconds to Ethan's Red Bull. Of course, he's already picked up a number of victories this season. He's got 2 victories, one in Australia, and he picked one up in Austria as well. I'm sure he'd love to pick a third up at his home track. He's increasing that lead too. Che Oliver only just getting DRS off of Grumio here. And Pope running fourth. I want to try and get around the Red Bull, the Haas, as quick as he can here. Down the main straight. Lycon not making a lot of progress in chasing Ethan. Che didn't get DRS that time, but I believe Grumio did. And that'll make the Mercedes driver's job a lot harder. BJ then with a dominant lead as Pope looking to try to make something happen on Lycon here. He'll want to be careful given what happened last time. I believe what may have happened, of course we won't assign any blame here, but what really might have happened is that Grumio may have just got on the back bumper of Pope, just a back end of Pope's car just a little bit. But we're not entirely sure because we won't say until we wait for the stewards to make a full decision later on in the week. But in the meantime, Pope's going to the outside now on Lycon. Oh, and he's gone straight on off into the grass there. And that was a risky move that's gone very, very wrong for the long-time race leader Tatsumi Pope, who now peels off the road. And will have to recover that car as quick as he can down outside of the points now. I thought he was out of the points. He's down in P10, but a risky move, a switch back to the outside that has just gone wrong for him. And now Grumio runs in 4th place to try and take on the current podium sitters as Che looks to close in. Grumio, a bit out of shape there through the last right-hander. And Pope into the pit lane here. Fresh set of hard tyres on that car. BJ continues to increase his lead here, and I dare say Gremio will try and go for a move on Lycon on a DRS straight in the same place that Pope did. But when he also looked to the outside, oh, that was very close from Gremio, and he managed to defend now from his championship rival, Che Oliver, who we're looking at him down this next straight. But poor exit Mercedes himself allows the Aston Martin to get away just a little bit. And they'll try and close back in on Lycon, but we'll have the silver arrow breathing down his neck here. Yellow flag, and that's Pope out of the race. Pope, who I'm not sure if there was a problem, he may have pulled the car, he might have pulled the car over. Can't be sure because can't see it. But Pope now becomes the third retiree of this race as Gremio looks to the outside of Lycon off the last corner and down the main straight. Che closing in too. Gremio to the inside, late on the brakes. Very close to contact with Lycon. But a good exit is all he needs. But Lycon's still there on the outside. And holds on to P3. Gremio's had no luck making overtakes to that first sector so far. Pope retired from the race then. 3 retirees very quick in this Grand Prix. We're 12 laps into, a third of the way through. Che getting very close to the curbs there. This pack of 4 cars now by themselves as Gremio, oh, had a poor exit. There goes Cello charging through to take P4. Gremio has no chance to try and come back at him now. Che perhaps a bit too deep there to the left-hander. These guys have a bit low on grip here. Down the main straight they come once again now. Will Che have his chance to overtake Lycon? He's on his inside for the braking zone. He might just get clear of the Haas if he can. On the inside, Lycon had a very good exit last time round. Will he get it again on Che Oliver? Coming very close to contact between the pair of them. Lycon late on the brakes around the outside. But Oliver's still there. Not willing to give an inch. The Silver Arrow and the Haas side by side on the exit. Close to contact here. Very tight between them. One of them have to give here into this next right-hander. It's Lycon who loses out. Only just. So Che, after that drive for the penalty, now back up into the podium places. And Gremio want to try and get around Lycon as quick as he can in order to not lose any time. And I feel that a lot of these drivers are racing for second here today as BJ expanded that gap to 10.3 seconds. Short of a safety car, which I doubt he'd be too pleased with. He has got this one sewn up so this early on. In control all by himself as Gremio struggling to get around the Haas. May have to make a second attempt at him down the main straight, but this time he's a lot closer. If Lycon can stay with him in the braking zone, he's got a good chance of staying in front. If the last 2 laps have shown us anything. Here comes Gremio to the inside now, down this main straight. Not the best of exits. Towards turn 1, he's following the Haas all the way up to the corner, going around the outside this time to get the better exit if he can. He's gone a bit too deep there, and might allow Lycon in. Side by side between the two of them, but this time Gremio gets the edge. And there's contact, and around goes Lycon in the Haas. Spins it on the entry. Oh, and there's contact again, and there goes Stumpon just shunting into the Haas machine. And someone, no one may have got a piece of that as well. JB gains 2 places in the ensuing chaos. And Gremio's gotten around Lycon as a result then, so he'll start chasing down Che and Ethan. Che might just go for a move this time, but Ethan's got a lot of battery stored up, so this could be a bit more of a challenge. And someone, no one, loses it as well, so he's gone back down to P9. JB, Cotney and Lycon all fighting their way through. Gremio lying in wait for one of these two in front to make a mistake. Waiting for a chance to make something happen. Down the main straight once again. No ERS batteries used for Ethan. Towards turn 1. Here comes Oliver. Looking for second place. And he'll take it too. But Ethan's still down his outside. This could get very tight. Tension diffused. Che back up to second place. There's someone, no one into the pit lane here for Haas. So we'll fill out the points paying places here. Front wing change in order, as well as a fresh set of soft tyres. We'll have a look here at who holds the fastest lap. As of right now, it's in the possession of Pope, who's of course out of the race for an extra point in order as it stands. Does Grumio make a move? As of right now, regardless of that penalty, he's safe in P4. And he may get to serve it his first pit stop, given that it was a track limits penalty. Might try and take Ethan here. Chase pulling away. 1.2 seconds in the clear. Here comes Aston Martin on the Red Bull towards turn number 1. Grumio last on the brakes, but Ethan still there on the outside. Never mind, falls back out of line. And it definitely isn't as quick on that turn 1 exit as Lycon was. Lycon running in P7 now, with JB in the pit lane. Of course, the medium tyre runners looking to end their first stint soon. BJ, 10.6 in the clear, doing a fantastic job here. And I imagine the Dutch crowd are loving every moment of it right now. Cherlov running in second place now, 1.3 seconds clear of Ethan. Sorry, of Grumio rather. And when will these two get close enough to try and threaten our race leader? He's been in control for a good few laps now. We'll have to look when he makes his first pit stop from those medium tyres. He'll stay out one more lap. Down the main straight once again. No DRS for either car. Everyone now a lot more spaced out. The closest battle being these two. Lycon versus Courtney Goblin for position number 6. Ethan into the pit lane here. The Red Bull team putting on a fresh set of hard tyres. And he's away. Lycon closing on Courtney Goblin as they run towards turn 1 for P6. But now P5 in the order thanks to Ethan's pit stop. There goes Lycon on the knees. But that's been a bit too deep there. Courtney Goblin might try to switch back on the exit. Not quite close enough. Has to back out of it. But Lycon goes a bit too deep and has to allow the Ferrari to keep with him. As Ethan jumps in front of Dan and PJ Cowell on the exit of the pits. This mandatory stop now finished. Che Oliver is quickly starting to shut that lead down. Gap's down to 9.7 seconds now. Of course, it won't help BJ's case he's running around on warm mediums anymore, given that he's now got two of the fastest drivers in the league behind him. And here he comes now. After a successful first stint, BJ into the pits. Now when one or two hard tyre runners follow him. Both cars will stay out at least one more lap. Hard tyres now going on as Grumio sets the fastest lap of the race. The 1 point now going to him. Che Oliver, for the first time in the last 16 laps or so, is going to lead the Dutch Grand Prix for the second time today. Anyone surprised? Snipe Hunter running in 4th place it stands, doing a fantastic job. Despite being caught up in that little incident with Lycon earlier on in the race. But luckily no damage done to that McLaren and no penalty for him either. Down to just 12 cars right now, 2 of them with penalties. 5 seconds for Lycon and 5 seconds for Grumio, both I believe for what the game considers to be severe collisions. Che right now, if he can put some time on BJ before his first and what should be only stop of the race, that'll definitely help him out. Into the last corner and down that main straight once again. No DRS for Grumio. He needs about a 10th or so more. And Che is now getting about a second or so on BJ to add to the 9 that were already there when he made the pit stop. Snap on to 1.8 seconds off his teammate. The McLarens are quick today, there's no doubt about it. Lycon running in a very high 5th place. Of course, no one in place of Ericsson tonight. Lycon has 56 points to his name this season. As of right now, that could put him up as high as 9th place in the Constructors' Championship should he score another 10 here tonight. That'll be very difficult with Courtney Goblin sitting right there behind him. Che doing an excellent job here, keeping Grumio at bay, keeping him just over that 1 second gap. But should he make a mistake, that could change. And I dare say Grumio's closing in just enough now to get DRS. He's using what's left of his battery too. And down the main straight to get clean air. He's closing in and sets the fastest lap once again. As things stand, the championship gap brought down to 13 points. A no score for Grumio and a victory for Oliver would mean he goes six points clear in the Drivers' Championship, and that could be 7 should he snatch the fastest lap off the Aston Martin. We are nearing the point where we should see the majority of these hard tyre runners making their changes. Still 7 drivers of the 12 that we have in the field yet to make their first stops. We're closing in a little bit more now. That DRS definitely helping him. I don't know if I was a bit wide there. That's going to allow Grumio to get all the time he needs. Trying to have an educated go at Oliver down this main straight when they come to these last couple of corners. Oh, not the best of exits for the Aston Martin. And Che Oliver into the pit lane. Grumio stays out. No fastest at that time. He's about 600ths of a second off. Change onto medium tyres for Che Oliver. So it'll be a bit faster now, perhaps than he was earlier on. BJ now takes away second place. Snap Hunter into the pits himself. Che Oliver at the pit exit now. Turns off that pit limiter and gets away. He'll re-emerge in P3. One of the white lines a little bit there for crossing. So crossing the pit lane exit, so may have gotten a warning of some kind potentially. Have to be careful on that front. 10.2 seconds between Grumio and BJ now. Of course, BJ will retake the lead, but we'll have the 2 championship leaders on medium tyres breathing down his neck. Mediums which could definitely last 15 laps that he needs. And Grumio will be a bit further behind thanks to that penalty should he have to serve it in the pits. As of right now, 10.5 seconds clear of BJ. He sets the fastest lap once again here. 1 minute 13.339. And that's a full 2/10 clear of any other time anyone else has been set today. So, of course, over that 1 lap pace, we've seen that Grumio is fast and he can put out the laps when he needs to. The 12 pole positions he's claimed this season when he backed that up. But, as I said so many times today, he struggles with that conversion. We know he could go for 1 lap. We know he can win races. Just the 4 of them going his way this season. Waiting on BJ to reclaim the lead. Once Grumio comes in, they've done 21 laps on those hards. How long will he take him? So this will be the last lap. And BJ will come through to reclaim the lead. As Grumio gets a 5-second penalty, another one there for speeding in the pit lane. And that could make things a lot more difficult for him. Must have just narrowly missed things. And the penalty, the 5 seconds penalty now in effect. And Che Oliver now sets the fastest lap. He's up to P2 now, and he'll be there by a good few seconds. Not to mention the extra 5 seconds he just got for speeding in the pits. Grumio has not helped himself at all here, and now has work to do. He now sits a good 13.5 seconds off the lead, plus that 5-second penalty, so he needs to overhaul for the end of the race. BJ now the leader by 6.5 seconds. And we're only waiting on Curtis now to make his stop. As someone know makes the change onto medium tyres, it should last until the end of the race there. Good stop from the Haas team. It's getting back out of the pit lane. Down to P12 here. Both Haas cars out the points. But Lycon chasing PJ in an attempt to try and claim one. So BJ now in control. But how much longer? He's got 13 laps to go. 13 laps left to go in this one. Che off the last corners off. 6 seconds back from top spot. There's another 7.4 behind in third place. Ethan being chased by Dan for fourth. There they come now, down that main straight. Dan a bit too deep there through turn 1, but it might pay off for him a little bit. As of right now, Grimio losing 2 places. So Che can close that gap down to around 3 or 4 points should he take the win today, but he's got to get around BJ first. Run on board with Michele Oliver. Now just 5 seconds off. Got some serious work to do here, but he can still pull it off. From the drive-through penalty to victory, it could still happen. As much as those Dutch fans would hate to see it. Wouldn't want their drive being passed in the closing laps. Dan still closing in, about 8 tenths off right now. Courtney Goblin about 6 tenths off JB. There's a bit of a train back here. Lycon looking to nick the final point. PJ chasing Curtis to try and claim another one. This could get spicy in the mid-pack here. Down the main straight they come. PJ claiming P9. Takes the scalp of Curtis and moves on to try and challenge Courtney Goblin and get close to that 2-second gap. But I dare say Curtis might not be done with him yet. But he's falling away. And Lycon will try and take advantage now, looking around the outside if he can. And now switching back. That's a brilliant move from Lycon down to the end of that first sector. And he's made it stick. Brilliant, fantastic stuff from the Haas driver to take away the final point. And Curtis, in a double whammy, losing 2 places just like that. Lap 26 now. And BJ continues to lead, but Oliver 4.2 back. Grimio 6.6 back, so he's also gaining time. And he's setting the fastest up in the process by quite some way, about 2 tenths. So him and Chelo right now have been dueling for that fastest lap point, which could be crucial to them coming into the season. Courtney Goblin still closing on JB, looking to make something happen if he can. Half second off, going towards turn 1, but doesn't get enough of a run to try and challenge the AlphaTauri for position. He's on course for P7 as it stands. So that'll be 4 points to close on Alfa Romeo. They're gaining 2 as it stands themselves, so it'll be only 2 points gained for the AlphaTauri team. 4 seconds now the gap between the 2 leaders. Brilliant challenge between these 2 cars right now. Ethan having fallen away from Grimio. Which means as it stands, he's safe in P3. He'll want to try and take away second place if he can. PJ passing Courtney here, who's dropped back a place. And will PJ have better luck trying to hunt down JB? Down into the pit lane here, and I dare say he's going for a set of soft tyres to the end. Nope, another set of mediums going on the car. He'll rejoin perhaps outside of the points here. Be very tight between these guys going towards turn 1. They may have got in front of him. But he holds on to the last point. Curtis about a second back from him here. Make that 1.5 rather. JB now up to 6th place. Doing an excellent job here. Now 8 points to the board for AlphaTauri, but 6 for Alfa Romeo. So still only 2 points gained from one team to the other. 3.2 seconds of the gap between the two leaders with 9 laps to go. BJ still in control. Grumio is championship rival now, dotting his rearview mirror. Fully focused on the task at hand, the car in front, who's on more worn, slower tyre compound. Yellow flag, and that is Lycon has gone around. Lycon now falling out the points. Curtis up to P10, but still on those hard tyres. Only driving the order to make him stop as there goes PJ Khaled on JB into turn 1. Good exit of both cars. I dare say the Alfa Romeo's got him. It's been a rare sight, the car on the inside and getting the run on the exit of turn 1. JB's going to try again around the outside. Might try and switch back like we saw Lycon do. Stays in line. We'll try and get him back sooner if he can. Courtney Goblin dropping back from these two. About 7 tenths behind. Battle for P6 and a few points will be valuable to both teams and the constructors, which continues to rage on here. Lap 29. As of right now, Oliver's gaining about 3 tenths a lap, which means he might just miss out. DRS will definitely help him, which I say will probably get around lap 33, 34 at this rate. He'd need a mistake from BJ of some kind. JB looking to stay close to the Alfa Romeo if he can. He knows what's on the line here. He knows those points could be crucial to AlphaTauri seasons. Courtney Goblin gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. That'll move him down to P9, the final pecking order right now. Curtis not close enough. JB trying to close in that little bit more. 2.4 seconds to gap now. .9 between Grumio and Che. Grumio definitely safe in 3rd place. Ethan's 11 seconds behind him. Snipe Hunter a further 5.5 back. It's 11 back to PJ Khaled, who's just a 7 tenths clear of his AlphaTauri rival. So it's all making a fantastic finish here. No one in the running order will have DRS as it stands right now. Everyone over a second behind the car in front of them. Now, if Oliver can close another 10th or so each lap than he is at the moment, then he'll definitely catch BJ. But it's going to be a very close race between the pair of them, and I dare say BJ, if he loses the lead, won't give up with that fight. As Curtis finally pits for I assume probably be a fresh set of soft tyres going on that car. Yes, they are. Soft tyres from the Alpine crew onto the Curtis Shepard machine, who will rejoin in P12 and will need to get around both Haas cars in order to claim the last point on offer. Keep an eye on and see if we can pull it off. Lycon now passing Courtney Goblin here for P9. So now be a Ferrari he needs to take. He's 10 seconds back from the Haas machine. Connie and Lycon both quite slow through there. And Che now within 2 seconds over the race leader. Grumio with just over 4 seconds back. And Che definitely closing in a lot more than he was a few laps ago. He'll be looking to try and get around BJ as quick as he can. But the catch here is that while Che Oliver is on the fast compound of tyre, those tyres will be set to run out of wear in a couple laps time. Those mediums I'm recommended can only do about 12 laps or so. Yellow flag, that's Grumio's gone around. And that could be a big setback for the championship leader, who will lose out on time, but won't be enough for him to lose any places after that penalty. Ethan's still quite a way back, but he's got no way back of chasing down Che Oliver P2 now, who currently sits 1.5 seconds behind the race leader. Cottony Goblin chasing someone, no one. Curtis is getting about a second or so of them already. If they were to collide, of course, that would make his job a lot easier. But of course, we don't want that. As of right now, Che Oliver only gaining 2 points in the championship. Yellow flag, and that's Cottony Goblin who's gone off into the wall there. And that'll be a place for Curtis if he can close in enough. To my knowledge, no car on the running order a lap down as it stands. We're near the last few laps of this Grand Prix. 1.2 seconds between the two leaders. And BJ can see the Silver Arrow bearing down him now. Someone no one passing Lycon. So a much more favourable race this time around. Looks to try and score his first points in the league. Cottony Goblin into the pit lane here. Fresh set of soft tyres, no doubt going on. Could try and snatch that fastest lap off of Grumio. Lap 33 now, just 4 more laps to go. And if BJ can defend from Che Oliver, will pick up his 3rd win of the season. Oliver looking for his 6th, coming all the way back from that drive-through penalty he got after jumping the start on the opening lap. Trying to pull off the ultimate comeback drive here. Might just be able to pull it off. I feel regardless, this could be a contender for driver of the season. There's been no safety cars to help him out. He's just doing some raw pace. And now he's chasing that McLaren, who's looking for a win in front of the Orange Army, as he brings that Papaya McLaren around to the DRS straight once again. And I feel, well, I'm sure now that the next time we go down that main straight, Oliver will have DRS. Yeah, it wouldn't be the first time that a Dutchman had been chased around Zandvoort by a Silver Arrow. Not for the first time, it won't be the last time either. So we've seen Verstappen and Hamilton go for some thrilling duels here at Zandvoort in the last couple of years. We could be about to see a Dutchman versus a Mercedes duel once again. Just 3 more laps to go, and Che has DRS now. He's within 9/10 of the leader. Grumio there in 3rd. Oh, less Vexus for Oliver there. Could have been big. But he's managed to hold the car. It's crucial for him at this stage, because those tyres won't have much more grip in them left. We'll come around in a few laps time. They'll have done 16 laps in all once he gets to checker flag. Should he make it to the checker flag? And needs to get around one of the fastest drivers in the league here, BJ, who's led the majority of the race. If Oliver closes enough here, I dare say he could get a very good run down that main straight. He's about almost half second back from the race leader. The crowd are on their feet, waiting to see how this thing comes to a close. The last couple of corners they come here. There'll be 2 laps to go when they cross the line. About half second separating the 2 leaders right now. If Che can get a good exit, but he hasn't. It's not as quick as BJ was. But he's following him, trying to get a run. No point going late on the brakes here towards turn number 1. BJ has led the majority of laps today, and would not like to be beaten at such a late stage, but it could still happen. Right now, no lap traffic in the way of these 2 cars. It's purely for them to settle. Che going a bit over the curbs there. Very close. Almost losing the car, and that'll definitely help BJ's case. He'll be able to get away by a few more tenths now. And that will set Oliver back just a little bit more. And maybe looking at a final lap pass if he can close back in. But as he's giving everything he can there, it may have to be a case of all or nothing for the Mercedes driver who's coming to the final lap. And BJ now just a lap away from victory here at home. Looking to pick up his third win of the season if he can just control it for one more lap. Che Oliver, 9/10 back as they come. This is the bell lap. One more lap to go here at Zandvoort. DRS line chase close back in. Yellow flag as Grumio goes around again. And he needs to recover that one quickly, and he will recover it quickly. But lost a lot of time there, and if Ethan can close up, he might try and get himself on the podium if he can. He's almost, it is within 3 seconds. And Snipehunt's trying to close in too. Grumio needs to get another 7/10 or so, but right now Che Oliver now 1.4 seconds back. He's lost a lot of time and he's losing time fast here. And I dare say, short of any mistakes, BJ might have this race won. Che, the red fuel light flashing on that car. Is he low on fuel? And will he have enough to make it back round? Yellow flood, that's Connie Goblin, is slowing up. But BJ now, as the Dutch fans rise to greet him as he makes his way through the second sector, or through the last sector for the final time here. Che now 3.6 seconds back in his rearview mirror, almost out of sight here. BJ comes through the last corners and rising over the crest of that banked right-hander to take the checkered flag and the win here at the Dutch Grand Prix. Victory at home for the McLaren team and for BJ, or just for BJ, the McLaren team, of course, British. And Che Oliver out of fuel here at the end. It will come home to take second place after an absolutely heroic drive. And Grumio might come home for third. It'll be very tight here. He may finish fourth. He's out of fuel here as well. And Ethan closing in massively there. And Ethan will take away P3. And Grumio finishes fourth. Snipe Hunter fifth then. PJ Kaladin sixth. PJ over the line. And he'll gain 2 more points on AlphaTauri Constructors Championship as Peter JB comes home for 7th. It'll be down in 8th place. A brilliant reserve performance for him. So 8th place for him. Someone no one takes his first LDL points. Comes home in 9th. It'll be Curtis Shepton and Lycon to round out the order. But BJ there, denying the comeback drive from Oliver, who finishes this race about 10 seconds behind. Snipe Hunter, who ran out of fuel there at the end, could have taken Grumio towards the last corner, but ran out of fuel. What a fantastic race that was. I do hope you enjoyed it. So BJ, your winner then. So BJ picks up his 3rd victory of the campaign here at Zandvoort, adding this to his wins in Australia and Austria. He raises the trophy. The man in the orange suit winning in front of the Orange Army. And the celebrations begin. Che Oliver getting just a few points in the Drivers' Championship. But let's help that gap close. So look at your final results then. So BJ takes the win. Che Oliver finishing 2nd. Ethan takes 3rd place in the end. Sally Grumio 4th. Snipe Hunter in 5th. PJ 6th. JB 7th. Daniel 8th. Someone No One 9th. And the Curtis Shepard rounds at your top 10. That's Lycon 11th. Cotley Goblin 12th. And your 3 retirees, Touch with Hope, TJ and Webbs qualified on the opening lap. So we'll see if we can talk to all 3 of our podium finishers tonight if we can. Okay, we'll get on to BJ in just a moment here. It was fantastic drive from him. So unmute the Discord and get him in here. BJ, there with us, mate? BJ, we got you there, brother?
I'm sorry, what?
Oh, here we go. You okay, mate?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, congratulations. Victory at home then. That's your third win of the season. Of course, after the first part of the race, quite quiet for you, but talk us through it.
Yeah, it was quite a quiet race as a whole, but I think it was the most exciting, boring race I ever had. I haven't overtaken a single car, and yeah, after Pope and Blaze spun ahead of me, it was just managing pace and hoping that those guys like Blaze and Che weren't fast enough to catch me. Looked like Che was gonna catch me, but luckily he ran out of fuel in the end. But yeah, lovely win, home win.
Yeah, definitely. Because I mean, obviously, I know it's only online, but did it feel good to win at home?
Yeah, to be fair, it doesn't really matter what track it is for me personally. But yeah, it's always fun to win a race. And although the other guys were faster, I ended up ahead. So yeah, it's a good feeling.
Because it must have been a good feeling when you saw Pope and Blaze up there in front of you. Of course,
Yeah.
off the track a bit.
Yeah, it was like a bit like the Red Sea splitting up like that. And yeah, well, I managed to avoid one of the two cars was on track when I passed them, but I just managed to avoid them, and yeah, it was basically gave me the win. Yeah.
Good stuff. Last question for you, because we have to talk about next week's race, as we often do. Next week's race being, if I check the calendar here, because I don't remember things. Next race being the Italian Grand Prix, yeah. So how's Monza track for you? We've got, because correct me if I'm wrong, but did you win there last season, or am I getting that wrong?
Yeah, I think I won last season. Yeah, I've got a bit of a mixed relationship with Monza. It's always a 50% chance of being very bad and a 50% chance of a win or another good result. So yeah, I guess I'll flip a coin next Monday, and we'll see what the result will be.
Yeah, that's hope it lands on the right side. Well, congratulations for you on another good win, and hopefully we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, thanks, man.
See you in a bit.
All right, bye.
So there was your race winner then. Unfortunately, I know there's talk to Chair Lover. So, but we have managed to get to talk to Ethan, which we'll get to do in just now. Of course, finishing third there, right at the end of the race. No doubt, very pleased that we have to talk to him here on stream. Ethan, you with us, mate? Ethan, you there?
Hello.
There we go. You're right, mate.
I am good, thank you, mate.
Well, first of all, congratulations on the podium finish. Of course, brilliant stuff for you at the end there. Struck a luck there with Blaze running out right to the line. Managed to hold on with that penalty.
Literally, yeah, running out right at the last second, allowing me to get through. I can't believe that. Just the screams when that Aston Martin started slowing down and I was able to get into that 5 seconds was brilliant. So I just can't believe it. Honestly, I can't believe I got on the podium for once.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but is that your first podium? I'll have to look at the spreadsheet here.
It isn't, but it's my first one of this season. That's for sure.
It's always a good feeling, regardless. Yeah.
Probably my only, but still glad to actually have got one in the books there.
Yeah, broken the duck. Well, yeah. You had quite a bit of an up and down race. You want to talk us through that? Because you ran in a podium place for a while there to that first pit stop. I ran quite high up for quite a while, and then I obviously got overtaken by Che and Blaze, which put me down quite a bit, and then I was out of the DRS for a while with Dan close up behind me, but somehow I was able to keep everybody just like within a second behind me for tons and tons of laps until all the way up to the end. I think I just got lucky, to be honest. I just got lucky throughout that entire thing. I was able to keep on the pace with everybody, which put me to third. So yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't even know how to explain it after that pit stop. I just thankfully came out in front of PJ and Dan, and then was able to keep it from there. In terms of Josh, do you feel like your choice of tyres helped you today over the course of this one, or is it just routine?
Yeah, I do think my strategy helped definitely. Those people who ended up going on the mediums in the end definitely sort of dropped off, especially when the fuel started to go as well. It was all mediums and no fuel. So yeah, I'm so glad I was able to have no fuel, but nice, hard tires like to keep me going. So yeah, I definitely think my strategy worked.
Yeah, fair enough. Last question for you. Of course, it's Italy next week. Of course, podium this week. Are we looking at another one next week? I don't want to put too much pressure on
I
you.
am indeed. Monza. I will, but I am going to be looking. I'm looking for first next week, obviously. Monza.
Oh, really?
No, of course not. Of course not. It'll be one of the front runners getting it, but still, I feel confident after this race, knowing that it's such a technical track I can get third on. I do definitely feel confident to say that I should be able to get another podium next week. So let's see.
We can certainly hope so. Well, cheers for coming on the stream to talk to us. Congratulations on the podium, and perhaps we'll talk to you
Thanks
next
very
week.
much, mate. Thanks for inviting me on.
No worries. I'll see you in a bit.
Have a good one.
That was Ethan then, after his first podium of the season, and unfortunately no Taillover around at the end of it, despite that very good comeback drive. That'll be all we see from this week. So thank you guys once again for watching another fantastic stream. I do hope you have enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to subscribe for more races driving the action as the season reaches those last couple of races. By my count, 7 more rounds to go this season, but it's all still to play for. Will that championship gap close between Che and Grimio? Who will win the Drivers' and Constructors' Championship? All still to play for. So make sure to tune in next week for all the action as we head to Monza. So until next time, you guys, thanks so much for watching, and I shall see you in the next race. Goodbye, everyone.